I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. In breaking news, leading scientists worldwide are conducting experiments to determine if Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. However, it appears the study was inconclusive, as the scientists couldn't help but eat all the Reese's. Because when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's. Find Reese's now at a store near you.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have a very special guest here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Debbie, for having me on. My name is Andrew Taylor, and I'm the general manager at Cafe Homestead.
Woo-woo!
Yeah, the restaurant at Homestead Heritage.
Yeah.
And I do some of the music production, multimedia production. Yeah, I'll be live streaming the Homestead Fair this weekend on YouTube.
Great. And one of the first questions I always ask our guests is, what brought you to Waco? Or are you a Waco native?
Yeah, so the answer to that question is my parents brought me to Waco.
Yay!
Because I was only about 10 years old.
Oh, okay. Same. Okay, so we have a very similar story.
Yeah, I didn't have much choice in the matter.
Yeah, understandable.
But I'm very glad that they made the choice that they did. I was born in Dallas, in Plano, actually, back when Plano used to be
Nothing.
Small,
Yeah.
nothing.
Now they have an HEB.
Oh, my goodness.
I
They're
know,
probably
right?
about to have a Central Market for all I know.
Yeah.
They really moved up in the world. So
yeah.
I go back there frequently, and it's definitely grown a lot. My dad worked in a computer, RAID chip controller, all that stuff.
Back in the day.
And worked for Texas Instruments.
Oh, wow.
When they had operations in Temple, so we lived in Temple for a while. Worked at Compact, so we lived in Houston for a while. And then when I was 10, we moved to Waco.
Wow. So why Waco?
So for us, we moved to Waco because my dad got into land surveying.
Oh, interesting.
And now has a land surveying firm.
Ooh,
here in
fancy.
Waco. Yeah, he worked for 1519 for years.
Wow.
Has his own business now, Sunbelt Technical Services. So that's why we moved to Waco.
Wow. Yeah, and so you've been here for a bit now. And what is one of your favorite things about Waco so far?
Oh, so I would say definitely the best thing about Waco, and I love, I love where I was, born. I love, going back and seeing Dallas every once in a while. But Waco is definitely home. Because it's just got the right. There's something about the small town,
Small town vibes, big city feels,
and no matter how we've grown here, we've still managed to keep that.
Yeah,
and I like that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So how long have you been working with Homestead? So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we had joined the church and the community. About the time we moved up here.
Oh, wow.
Which was definitely one of the reasons the biggest reason that we moved to Waco. And so I think I first played in one of the Thanksgiving festivals. I think I played like bass guitar or something.
My gosh.
And I was 14.
Uh-huh.
And I sang in the choir when I was even younger than that.
Oh, wow.
I believe I was like 8 or something.
That's so
like
cute.
that.
Adorable. We need pictures. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I'll have to get you some. I'm sure I've got some. I sang some solos. Hopefully we don't
That'll
have
be
any
like the photo we put, like, so we usually do on our little post, like a little photo, or we'll do like the logo. We'll just do a picture of you at 8 years old.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so we have these choirs that start at 6, and so I got to be part of that. That's pretty awesome. But so since about 14, I've been involved in some of the multimedia music, and then now some of the business development.
Yeah. So
as well.
How long have you guys been in Waco?
So we actually just last year celebrated 30 years.
Whoop woo!
Yeah,
Shout out.
30
That's
years.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And so we bought the piece of property, about 550 acres on the Brazos River in 1991.
Wow.
We started the restaurant in 1994.
Wow.
So we're
That
coming
was
up.
still before I was born.
Same. I'll be 30 this year.
Oh, Wow, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so that's fantastic. So you grew up in the area, and you guys have an amazing festival every year that you open up to the public. You guys have demonstrations, all kinds of fun stuff. So tell me more about the festival.
Yeah, so it's the Friday and Saturday and Sunday following Thanksgiving.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, it's a really great time of year to do it. Hopefully the weather is good.
That's
it's
what we're
looking good so
whoop,
far.
whoop, yeah.
So we're hoping for it all the way through the weekend. One of the most neat things that I think is, and I did this whenever I was a kid as well. Kids can come and make like a birdhouse or a bird feeder or something like that.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of fun because those make great Christmas gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would do that every year for I'm part of the community, and I would at the fair.
So your mom has like 12 bird houses,
yes,
is what you're telling me.
and I would give them to my grandparents, and
Yeah,
I'd give them to aunts and uncles.
Aw.
And so much fun, and kids do that every year. They're coming in, and they're not just making it for themselves; they're making it for their grandpa or something.
Or it's their mom saying, I don't want this in my house, so you're giving it to your grandma, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. Thankfully, my grandparents didn't comment on the quality of my craftsmanship because it probably wasn't very high.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. That's why you keep doing it. Every year you got a little better, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys also have a barn raising demonstration. So tell me about that.
Yeah, that's really fun. So there's a business in the community that dismantles and restores and then resurrects these barns.
That's so cool.
It's a lot of fun. They've been featured on Chip and Joanna's.
Shout out.
Yes, for sure. Restoration Road, and as well as a little bit on Fixer Upper, but mostly on Restoration Road. So that's a lot of fun. You can get so all these barns they were made by some of the early settlers here in the States. People that came over from, maybe Holland or England and wherever they came from, they had a particular way of doing barns. They built them differently in England than they did in Holland. And so when they came to the States, they brought their skills with them and they made these barns, and there are only so many of them.
Wow.
And so we've been finding those when you come out to Homestead. Most of the buildings are actually, or a good number of them, I guess I should say, are actually restored barns.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so every year at the fair, we usually will have a demonstration, a hands-on demonstration. Don't watch us do it.
You got to do it. Get in there.
You get in there with the little pike, and you raise a barn, just like they raised barns 300 years ago.
Yeah. And you guys have kind of like a craft village. So you guys have textile work and artisan work and other made goods. You guys even have a mill, correct?
Yes, a grist mill.
Yes.
It's
so
fun.
I got some grits last year. They're delicious. I love them.
Yes.
They're amazing.
There's nothing like stone ground grits.
I know. It's just the texture is so different. I don't want to go back to store-bought grits after this.
That's exactly right. And so one of the things that we do at the restaurant is all of the flour that we use, that comes from the grist mill. They're on the property. So cool. It's all ground, and it's just like the grits. It's different than the stuff that you get at the store.
Yeah.
And so we have special recipes that we use, and it makes the bread taste amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then you guys will also be having music demonstrations and stuff too. So tell me about that.
Lots of music. So that's one of the things that's nearest and dearest to my heart. And so we have children's choirs and orchestras. We have this awesome kids orchestra.
Wow, I wish I knew how to play an instrument.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
Yeah. Well, they so what they do, the kids choir, we have two of them. One of them is from 6 to 9 or 10 years old. So cute to see these little kids get up there and sing. And for every child that grows up in Homestead Heritage, 6 is this massive year for them because getting to join the choir.
You got to do all the fun things.
They sit down there for, however long before and just pine away for the day that they can get up there. Yeah. And so I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Well, they'll be 4 and 2 in January.
Congratulations.
So pretty close. Thank you. And so my little daughter Eliza, who's nearly 4, is just dying to be part of the choir. I mean, she just can't wait. So 2 more years for her,
She's counting down the days.
Yes.
Even though she probably doesn't know how to count that high yet.
Right,
but
exactly.
That's okay.
She's going to learn just to be able to count.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever she gets to be in the choir. So that's a lot of fun. And so then we'll have... I think it's 10 to 16 or 17, and they're accompanied by the youth orchestra, which is similar ages. And then in the evening, we'll have our adult and choir and orchestra.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic.
So basically, across the weekend, there's like 5 concerts.
Wow. And what are some of the other things you guys have going on?
Yeah, so definitely food. We have a lot of
I'm there
food.
for the food. I'm a foodie,
Oh,
a
my
Waco
goodness.
foodie. So
Yes, hashtag foodie for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
you can get everything from burgers to authentic Mexican gorditas. We actually have a sister community in Mexico, so some of them will come up and they'll just kind of give us some tips on how to make authentic Mexican food, which is really awesome.
What we need, yeah.
And then we'll do kettle corn. Some of my
I got
favorites.
some kettle corn.
For breakfast every year at the fair, I have this little tradition that I have to eat some apple cider donuts.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's donuts that are made from fresh pressed apple cider.
That's exciting.
Fresh press it on site, make donuts out of it. So that's awesome. I'd say the other thing, which is any one of these things, you could just come to the fair for just that one thing. You could just come for the music. You could just come for the food. You could just come for the hands-on crafts. What's also really awesome is the seminars that we do. So for the last,
I did one of the sustainability ones.
Did you? That's fantastic.
Yes.
Which one did you do?
It was over in the greenhouse. So I think it was just about sustainably. So I was living in an RV. So me and my husband were RVers for 2 years. So I think they were talking about solar energy, and then they were talking about planting
awesome.
and crops and all that stuff. I'm a big buff for anything that's anything that's going to help our planet. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, and honestly, during COVID, we had so many people reaching out to us saying hey, I'm going into the grocery store and I don't see a lot of food.
Yeah.
How do I grow my own food? How do I make my own bread? We got so many people, but we've been doing that now for nearly 50 years.
Wow.
And so just to have some, that wealth of knowledge and tips and information.
The masters at your fingertips.
Well, it's awesome because people come out and then they can ask questions and see it done.
Yeah.
And kind of learn how to do it themselves.
Yeah, I love that. And it was so fantastic because it's kind of just getting to see a bunch of people who are all interested in the same thing and, in a forum that is a safe space where you can ask questions and find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And what else do you guys have going on?
Oh my goodness!
There's so much. So
if we were doing a lot,
just
more
do
than
a whole
that,
list.
Yeah. If we were doing more than that, then we'd probably be dead. By
true.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, by Monday we're out. We're gonna go sleep for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Go into hibernation.
Yeah, until the next one.
Yeah, no. Honestly, every year there's some new booth or something that I didn't even know was going to happen. Every year it gets bigger and a lot more fun, but. Definitely, you have to come out to see everything. But definitely those 4 categories: the music, the food, seminars, and the kids projects.
Yeah,
adult projects too.
Yeah, adult projects can do things as well. And then of course shopping. You got to get all the fun and cool things that they have to buy.
Yes. Definitely. I mean, Black Friday, it's a time to shop.
There you go.
You can get all of your Christmas presents. You can, if you can't buy them, you can make them too.
Ta-da! There you go. Easy peasy. But yeah, I'm so excited, and you guys do this every year. So I'm so excited to finally have you on the podcast and get to talk about it. We're hitting 3 years in February, so I was like, we got to do it now. So
yes, absolutely.
and I've been I want to say 3-4 times. So I'm I already try to make it a habit of going. So I was just so excited that you guys were able to message me back. So with this, Fighting About the Festival, we're just going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
All right.
And now for a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. In breaking news, leading scientists worldwide are conducting experiments to determine if Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. However, it appears the study was inconclusive, as the scientists couldn't help but eat all the Reese's. Because when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's. Find Reese's now at a store near you.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
911, what's your emergency?
Do you hear that? It's coming from the house.
It's coming from inside the house? Do you mean? Could it be?
The Poltergeist. New from Rogue Media. Two haunted hotties talking about haunted places. Every episode we dive deep into the darkest places and give you a bit of history.
We're getting spooky in all the right places.
You've gobbled your last ghoul.
Follow along for the craziest and spookiest stories with Debbie's Dark Tourism. The Stanley Hotel,
Winchester House,
The Alamo,
Hotel Monte Vista,
and more spooky places. Find us at _Poltergals. POLTERGALS.
Look over your shoulder. It's us,
the Poltergals. Wherever you consume the podcast, you can find us there. And now, back to the episode. And we're back. Well, we just got finished talking about the amazing festival happening this weekend. So now we'll get into some of the other things that you guys do.
Yeah.
So we're coming up at the end of 2022. We're already thinking about 2023.
Yes.
What are some of your goals by the end of the year? And what are some of the things you're looking forward to doing next year?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely a big goal for next year. I'm planning to really expand some of the videos and stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
We do a weekly broadcast that's on, sort of, cultural and community topics and stuff. We'll be expanding that with more videos about how to grow your own food.
That'll be so fun.
So many things like that. I think that's going to be a big goal going forward for us.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. And then, you guys have events all the time, even at the cafe. So tell me about those.
Yes. Yeah. So we actually, for, we opened in 1994. We've been primarily a lunch establishment. Since then, but actually during COVID, we decided to open for dinner.
Wow!
And so we are now open for dinner Thursday through Saturday.
Whoop whoop!
Yeah, it's really awesome. Steaks, farm raised chicken. It's raised on our our farm out there. A lot of things like that. It's a really awesome menu. But then we also do special dinners. We usually do them. We'll do them. Let's see, Christmas, Valentine's, Mother's Day, and Father's Day.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, and you guys do special events and just, again, the cafe is open all the time so people can go and get fresh local ingredients and their food. And you guys have a variety of things on your menu that just showcase everything that you guys have to offer.
Yes. The best is the Brazos Valley salad.
Ooh.
It is a splash of color and it is a splash of awesomeness to your taste palates that you can't imagine. It's blueberries, strawberries, truffle gold cheese that's made out at the, the farm.
Yes.
And then just these amazing dressings that'll take you to the next level.
All right. I'm so excited. My mouth is literally watering. I just had taco salad. I should calm down. But I am, like I said,
should have brought you one.
As I previously mentioned, it's okay. Maybe next time. When I have you on next year, you can have a redemption and
that's right.
and bring me snacks.
Yeah.
No, you're not obligated to bring anything to the host. It's fine. But yeah, so you guys do events all year round. And I know you guys already provide so much for the community, but what is something you would like to see more of in the community?
Yeah, so we're definitely, I'm rooting for every, and I know it sounds funny to say as the general manager of a restaurant, but it's not. I'm rooting for every good restaurant that comes to Waco.
Yeah.
I'm so happy about it because I think that every time we open a new restaurant, every time that we do something like that, it just raises the bar.
Yeah.
And I think that's really great. I think people coming to Waco, you see a Pig Nutty's coming into town. I love Pig Nutty's. You see 135 Prime. You see so many of these places. I just love that it elevates what we have in Waco.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and Waco has such a vibrant community, and I love that we have such a rich cultural center with you guys located, right outside of Waco, but basically here in Waco. And I mean, there's going to be so much more brought to our community. But why do you think it's so important for you guys to be in Waco now and do the things you do? Yeah,
absolutely. Waco has been known kind of more recently as sort of a community of artisans and stuff. We've actually been doing some of these things now since the early 90s.
Wow.
And so we didn't realize what a good spot we were going to be in.
Yeah.
In terms of just the right town for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think we've had a very positive impact in that direction. And now you see, something, Magnolia, all of these artisan businesses that are springing up from that. That's something that we love. We love that because it's something that we're doing. And I still remember, I don't myself, watch, TV or whatever, but I remember seeing a couple of the episodes of Magnolia. And I realized I was like, this is why people want to come to Waco. It's because like I see the B-roll and I see the cow out in the pasture and the mist rising off of the Brazos, and I see these things and I'm like, there's something about the values of that.
Yeah.
There's something that people love, and so the people that are coming to Magnolia, they share the values that we have. They share a love for the land and family and so many of those things that may seem traditional, but I think it's really great to see those people ever more coming to Waco, just increasing because of so many of these things that have, now shown up to Waco.
Yeah. And so, again, you guys have been in the community for 30 years. So, and especially you being here for at least growing up here, you've been able to see so much grow in Waco. So what have you seen so far that has made you happy in the community, or why are you glad to be here?
Well, I'll have to think about that one. I'm glad for so many reasons. I can't imagine. I'll say this. I think that Waco is the best town that I can think of to raise a family in.
Yeah.
100%.
A lot of people say that they come on the show. That's one of the number one things.
Yeah. And like I say, I've got a family with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I actually live on the farm out there at Homestead. But just in general, for the whole community, I try to picture myself anywhere else. I'm like, you know what? Waco is the place to raise them. And I don't know if I'll be here forever, but I sure intend to stay for as long as I can.
Yeah, so you've made this place your home. Is there anybody that's helped you along this journey, or anyone you want to shout out?
Oh, definitely. If I was to go down the list, that we'd be here till dinner time.
Well, I always say you can shout out your mom, your dog, or your grandma. So all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. No, definitely. There's so many people, out. I'll start with the people at Homestead who have helped me personally. Asa L. Adams. If you watch our weekly broadcast, he's kind of the main host of that. I'm just the producer. I'm not on the camera.
Behind the camera.
But certainly him and so many others. My mom, who originally was the first person who really gave me the inspiration to be a part of music, to help Asa L, to do so many of these things. She gets some credit for sure.
Good job, Mom.
And I would shout out my dog, but he's not really trained yet. So
that's okay.
I feel like I'll be shouting out my wife once she is finished helping me train the dog. So.
There you go. I get that. Well, that's fantastic. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Make sure,
yes, this is fantastic. And make sure and share with us where we can find you, find more information, find out about the event.
Absolutely. So you can go to homesteadfair.com. You can also go to homesteadheritage.com, and we're on Facebook, YouTube,
slide in those DMs.
Yep, for sure. And certainly Instagram as well.
Yeah, that's how I reached out, and you guys were responsive and able to get this scheduled. So that's absolutely amazing.
And watch the fair if you're not able to attend.
Yes.
Definitely watch it live on YouTube.
Okay, that would be great.
I'll be the host. I'll answer questions. If you have questions, just let me know.
All right, great. And is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today?
I can't think of anything else.
All right. That means you did a good job.
Either I forgot something or I did a great job.
I was going to say, check your notes. Make sure you don't forget anything. No, I think you did great. Well, it was fantastic having you on, and I'm looking forward to the festival.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Debbie.
Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.